Short form content won't just wreck your channel, it'll destroy your life. That is, if you don't implement the right strategy to short form content. You've probably seen a ton of short form lately, and it's gaining popularity fast. But is it the right move for your YouTube channel and your brand? And more importantly, how does it affect your life? I'm gonna show you some examples of YouTube channels that are all very unique in the way that they actually handle their short form, and also talk about some very effective strategy that you can implement to develop your brand. So stay tuned. Let's begin by talking about the pros and cons of short form. On one hand, it's engaging, easy to consume, and if you do it right, you'll grow your subscribers and views quickly. But on the other hand, it may dilute your brand's identity, lead to a drop in audience retention, and even impact your channel's long-term growth. Since it demands a rapid production of just constant content, this can be exhausting for creatives like us who love storytelling and visual artistry, and ultimately affect your passions, which for me, it's filmmaking and photography. And that reminds me about a time I went to this Sony event earlier this year called Sony Condo.
If you wanna go party when it's a party, when it's the night.
This is beautiful. I've made a lot of good friends so far.
For those of you that don't know, Sony Condo is the biggest creator event that Sony puts on with all of the top creators in the Sony camera space. And since this was my first time, I was there to just take it all in and see what the dynamic would be of the event and the creators. And within 24 hours, I was on social media and I already saw these videos that these creators were posting that were like highlights of this insanely beautiful trip. And for me, I hadn't even really touched the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. And as beautiful as those images are, I really didn't gain anything out of it. There was no story, there was no authentic connection, it was just pretty pictures. And to be honest with you, a lot of people can do that, and I just felt like there was something lacking. And I think a lot of us kind of feel like when we're on that constant grind, it's easy to let that process take over why we actually started creating content in the first place. After seeing these posts, I personally felt like I was maybe being left in the dust, so to speak. I felt like as a creator, maybe I'm supposed to be recording and documenting and posting these things as fast as possible. So what I did the next day was grab my camera and went out and started filming as much as I could around the event. At the end of the day, I went back to my hotel room and started editing. And after I was done, I reevaluated why I was doing this. I asked myself a few questions. Is this the type of audience that I'm going to want to follow me to consume these types of pieces of content? And the second question was, is that audience going to even be fulfilled watching this? Or is this going to have some type of an effect on them in the long term and maybe have them learn something, have them personally gain something? And to be honest with you, none of the content I created would attract that type of audience. So I didn't even end up posting it. Let's talk about some YouTube channels and look at how they post short form and long form content. And you guys can decide for yourselves what type of strategy you may want to implement with your own brand. So this first YouTube channel is actually really unique. This is a guy named Matt Rife, and a lot of you probably know him for his stand-up. And his stuff is all over TikTok. That's basically how he became famous. And if you look at his shorts upload here, he's really not uploading that much, which is pretty interesting. His first couple videos do have 1.8 million, 890,000, 5.6 million, and then some of these have 47K, 25K. But more importantly, let's look at his actual videos. His actual full long format content is pulling in hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views a day. So it's really interesting. He went from short form, which he still definitely posts all over social media, but his long form videos are crushing it. And as you can see, he's uploading more long form content on YouTube and not as much short form. Okay, this next channel is Austin Keane. He's a professional wake surfer, and I actually know the video editor for his channel. And it's really interesting because they are on a more of a shorts uploading type of strategy. But if you look at his most popular shorts, he has gotten 252 million, 156 million, 148, 24 million, lots of millions of views. But now if you look at his latest uploads, he's only getting a couple thousand views on his shorts. And then if you look at his videos, he's also only getting a couple thousand views on each video. But if you look at his most popular videos, he's got 3.3 million, 1.5 million. Is this a case of maybe diluting your brand just a little bit because your shorts took off and what you thought was great could have just been inflated numbers, so to speak? I think this channel has a ton of potential as long as they figure out a good strategy to transfer the views and the audience from their short form over to their long form. And I'll explain how to do that coming up real soon later in this video. So here's a YouTuber who is crushing it with short form content. Her videos are getting millions of views. Each one is doing incredibly well. Let's look at her most popular shorts. 60 million views, 47 million views, 38 million views, lots of millions. Like every single one is in the millions, which is pretty impressive. She does have 1.63 million subscribers, so let's go ahead and check out her long form content. And over here, she's also doing extremely well. And she only has posted, I don't know, maybe 12 videos, but her most popular videos are within the last year. So that's really impressive. And this is somebody you guys should definitely keep your eye on. I know she does a ton of research to see what kind of shorts and long form video will work. Jenny is amazing at what she's been doing lately. Now, I think what a lot of people need to do in order to make short form content grow their brand is figure out a way to create an emotional connection with the audience that you're creating for. Regardless if you're posting on YouTube or social media platforms, you want to try to make something that will honestly enlighten someone's life besides just pretty pictures or pretty video. There's such a lack of substance in these dopamine hitting short form pieces that we're all getting, and I hate that. And once you're done watching it, you don't even really remember what you saw during that day. You just kind of remembered how you felt when you're like, oh, that looks cool. And that sucks. One of the biggest struggles I had starting as a creator was growing my channel and growing my brand. And like I said earlier, it's really important to focus on storytelling and connecting emotionally with your audience through music. When I really focused on telling stories and connecting with people through music, it really started to grow my brand and started to connect with the audience that loved what I loved. And one of the short form strategies that you can implement on YouTube is creating a short form piece from a long form piece and using like the buildup of a song. And during that buildup of the song, you can have your normal short form, and then right when it's about to drop, you can say, check out this video here to see the full video. Here's an even better way to hook your viewers. Create a short, say for example, 3 ways to grow your YouTube channel. You go through the short and sweet, and then at the very end you say, none of these tips are gonna help you unless you do this one thing in this video. That is an extremely powerful way to convert short form viewers to your long form content. And I think it's really important to do that, because if you don't, you're going to start growing your social media, you're going to start growing your brand on YouTube for the wrong audience. So for example, I would go on to a website called MusicBed. It's actually a website that I've been using for years, and they did sponsor this video, but I genuinely love the music that they have on there, because no matter what kind of connection I'm trying to create with my audience, whether it's something hectic like a travel film, or something that's like a dirt bike jumping, or something maybe a little bit more emotional.
I dreamt of you tonight.
When I use MusicBed, I not only have a better story, but more success with that video. So that means more comments, more watch time, more people loving the stuff that you love to show them. And that's why we're all doing it, right? So take your projects to the next level using MusicBed. You can use the code Jamie at checkout and get your first month free with the purchase of an annual subscription. When you use music strategically in your short form content, it transforms it into an emotional experience. Your audience becomes more engaged, and it's this connection that can lead them to your more long form, in-depth content. Short form content isn't just a wrecking ball for your channel in your life. It's a tool, and it's all about how you use the tool to get the job done. You can turn short videos into powerful experiences. So remember, the choices you make as a creator have the potential to shape the trajectory of your channel and your creative journey. And don't forget to use the strategies I said earlier by creating basically a hook using short form content to lead into your long form. So use music wisely, tell your stories, and continue creating magic.